Hi, I'm Loviman. Welcome to the Nano PAMS program. In this second video, I will be talking about the platformization in different business sectors and industries. So, what is a platform? We can define platform as a layer of digital technologies combined with governance structure. There are two important keywords here. The first one is architecture. Architecture means device layer, service layer, content layer, and network layer. The second important keyword here is governance. In governance, we have to think about rules or participation and rewards that organize the ecosystem. To give you an example of digital platform, you can think about social media. Social media basically is a digital platform that allows its users to create something, to create contents, to build their network, to share their information, and to organize anything within the platform. While it is very interesting for a company to develop a digital platform, it also has different consequences. But the most striking consequences that an organization have to think about is that they are not always in full control. For example, if you give too much freedom and flexibility for your users, then your users will be totally out of control. But on the other hand, if you give too much moderation, then they will not be very comfortable and eventually they will leave out of your platform. Nevertheless, digital platform is now everywhere. The key success factors of the emergence of digital platforms is their ability to create enormous values, particularly in reducing search costs, transaction costs, or both for the participants. Thus, it is very important for us to think about the network effects and the economies of scale. According to the network effects, if you give lots of value for users in one site, it will also increase the value of users in other sites. So if you have multi-sided platform that connects users, developers, and companies, for example, then an increasing value in one particular site will tend to increase values in other sites as well. However, we have to be very careful here because one, we have to think about chicken and egg problems. How should we develop our sites? Which sites that we have to develop first? And second, we have to think very carefully about the network effect itself, because even if you have a very high level of network effects, it doesn't always guarantee that you will have a high barrier to entry. So you have to be very careful about that. With economies of scale, if you can attract lots of users all together into a single platform, then the marginal cost will tend to decrease. And obviously, you can use this cost saving to develop better products. You can use this to do another R&D or to enhance the user experience in your platform. The combination between cross-site network effects and economies of scales is the key success factors behind the dominance of digital platform like Microsoft Windows, for example, or Facebook. So, what are the challenges in developing our digital platform? The first challenge is determine how many sites to bring on board. Theoretically, the more sites that you can bring to the platform, the potential for network effects will also increase. However, there will also be a risk of conflicting interests between different sites in your platform. Also, sometimes it may not be economically feasible for you to develop a platform with too many sites. The second challenge is determine the platform design itself. Because you have to develop a structure in your platform, you have to sacrifice revenues in one site in order to promote the increasing number of users on the other side, for example. Or maybe you can develop something to make your users happy, but not so happy for your advertisers, or vice versa. The third challenge is determining the pricing structure. How are you going to operate this platform? Are you going to give it away for your users so that they can use your service for free? Or are you going to charge them so that they have to pay for a subscription, for example? Or are you going to attract advertisers so that they can put their advertisement in your platform? Or what kind of strategies that you are going to use here? How are you going to make your digital platform economically viable? The fourth challenge is determine the platform governance. Essentially, you have to think about access. Who is allowed to join this platform? Who is not allowed to join this platform? You also have to think about the interaction. What are the capabilities that the users are allowed to do? Are they allowed to communicate between each other? Are they allowed to do transaction between each other? Or is there going to be a limitation for certain users in certain market, for example? You have to think very carefully about this. Because without a proper governance structure, you will be facing the risk of market failure. So, what are the strategies that we can use to organize a digital platform like this? There are at least two different strategies. The first one is coring and the second one is tipping. Coring means creating new platform that never existed before. In here, you have to solve an essential problems. You have to be very careful in managing your intellectual property. You also have to be very careful in protecting your key resources. You have to protect your main sources of profit and revenues. And you have to be able to maintain a high switching cost so that your users will not moving away from your digital platform. In tipping, you have to build a market momentum so that you will win a platform war. You have to be able to develop unique market proposition. You have to be able to develop unique services or a particular technology that cannot be found in other digital platforms. You also have to be able to tip across different markets. In some cases, you have to be able to rally cooperation or build coalition with your competitors. And finally, you have to consider different pricing strategy or price subsidy to attract more users to join into your digital platform. So, before we move on to the next video, think about a digital platform around you. Perhaps an app that you use every single day, or a marketplace that you always use to buy something, or social media or networking websites that you use to connect with your friends, your families, and things like that. Or maybe a digital application that you use for a particular purpose. Think about their structure. Think about their revenue models. Think about their governance inside their platform.